Then let Jolie introduce herself.
Okay.
Then I'm going to share our presentation. Okay. So
Okay,
my
go ahead.
name is Grace, cohort 14. I'm from Nairobi. Jolie?
My name is Julie Baraza. I'm from cohort 14 also, and I was working on the front-end development in this project.
Okay.
Thank you.
Let me share my screen. Could you confirm if it's visible?
Yeah, it's perfect.
Okay. So the project, the application we decided to work on, we named it Clockwise. And our tagline was your desired time tracking application. Then our team was made up of myself and Jolie. Jolie, as she has said, she worked on the front end bit. I worked mostly on the back end, but it was more of a collaborative effort. A bit on the project overview. It's a Flask-based web application designed for time tracking and project management. The inspiration behind why we decided to do the time tracking application, we wanted to create a simple and concise way to track the time spent on particular tasks and increase accountability and productivity by having real data to work with. For the technologies and architecture, we wanted to use the things that we had already learned from the 7-8 months at ALX. So we mainly focused on the technologies that we were slightly familiar with so that we could maybe build on that knowledge. So it was mainly based on Python. It was based on Python, and then we used Flask for the web framework. We used MySQL for the database. For the front end, we just used HTML, CSS, and Bootstrap. A bit on the code snippets. We came across some Flask extensions that we used, something like Flask admin, that we mainly used to maybe create, read, update, and delete stuff from the database. And then we also used Flask login. That one we used for user authentication. And then we also used SQL Alchemy for the data models. Yeah. So how the two of us collaborated, we started off by setting timelines on Trello so that we can have something to go off of when we are gauging our progress. For the idea exchange and daily communication and tracking how far we've gone, we used messaging platforms like WhatsApp and also used emails. And then for the coding bit, we used GitHub for the code implementation, we used GitHub. We had one main repository where we could, in different branches. So when we work on our side, we just push to the main repository. For the project timeline, the research bits and project ideation and proposal, we did them from December 1st to around December 21st. Then we started working. Technically, we were to start working on the project from December 22nd to January 13th. But we had a Christmas break in between, so most of the work was mainly done in January. The review and editing that happened between January 14th and 19th. Then the presentation and sharing that's happening this week. One of the main challenges that we encountered was the way our application was set up. We wanted to have a timesheet where you can track what you're doing on a daily basis and what's not. But then when you have someone working in corporate and they have maybe their meetings, they've been set up on the calendar, maybe Google Calendar or maybe something like Outlook Calendar. We wanted to integrate that such that you can pull your tasks directly from the calendar and they go to the timesheet automatically. We faced a couple of challenges with that, but yeah, that was the main challenges. But going forward, after we've completed our MVP, the main things that we want to maybe finalize on is that calendar integration, and we also want to visualize the data that we've collected from the timesheets. So now moving on to the live demo, let me share a different tab. Let me share something different, a different screen. Am I still sharing?
Wait, let me see. Where is it? Okay. I think. Can you stream again?
Okay, let me try that again.
Is it working?
Is it
Okay.
visible on your end?
Yes, now it's good.
Okay. So we hosted our application on the server that we were given from ALX. I know that's going to be a challenge onwards in case they take those down, but that's where our website is currently hosted. So at first front, this is how it looks like, a brief introduction on what the application does, and a couple of screenshots from what we had on our mockup. Yeah. So you could either sign up to create a new account or log in if you already have one. Let me use an existing one. So this is how the timesheet looks like. We have the bit for the start time and end time, then the place to select the project you're working on and the exact task you're working on. You can choose if it's a billable task or if it isn't. You can also do a brief description of it. So you can do maybe a demo. You can start yesterday maybe from 8 a.m. to around maybe up to 11. Let's say I worked on project 1.1 and the task I worked on is task 4 and something brief to describe what I did. And then you save the entry. We have this bit for projects, which is supposed to like give you a list of all the projects you've tracked and how many hours you've worked on them. So like now the recent entry that I've put right now from 8 to 11, the project 1.1, that's one that's going to be here. So that's basically it. The home tab with everything that you have, the time tracker with the timesheet, the calendar. This is why I wanted to integrate either Google Calendar or an Outlook calendar, then the project bit, shows you a summary of what you've done. And then the reports page is where we want to like now visualize what you already have on the project bit. Yeah. For
Nice.
the admin section, at the moment we don't have any restrictions on who can actually access it, but this is where we were handling the users in case you want to create a user from the admin side, or if you want to create a new department, or if you want to create a new project, you can just create it from here, or if you want to create a new task. Yeah, this is why we're handling most of that. Yes.
Nice. Good job. Good job, guys. Nice. Congratulations. Very nice project. It's also a nice idea. You should feel proud. Is anyone here have a question for them? If you have any question, please go ahead. Okay, I have one question. Is the Google Calendar something that's working, or you guys still working on it?
That's the bit that we're still working on, the Google Calendar and the
Report.
visualization of the data. Yes, the reports bit.
Nice. It's very nice project. You put a lot of efforts, and I think you guys deserve 100. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Good job, guys.
Thank
Thank
job.
you.
Keep going. And do you have any question for me?
If you could have, do you have any advice on what we could use for the reports, or how we could go about the integrating the calendars bit? Yeah.
I didn't have experience with Google Calendar before, but I will look for some way or like something. Maybe I send you email or in Discord. How like if I find something, let's make it easy for the report.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. We'll
Keep going,
appreciate
guys.
that.
You got this.
Thank you.
Good luck. Bye.